Scott, good morning, man. I know this Arkansas baseball team keeps on rolling, heading down to Ruston. Is that? Now, I know the most famous most famous Louisiana Tech grad is probably Carl Malone. Who's the best baseball program in their history? Any idea?
Man, I have no clue.
I don't either. I had no idea.
Wouldn't Terry Bradshaw? I'd say Terry Bradshaw's their most famous.
I'd say Terry Bradshaw well ahead of Carl Malone.
Yeah.
And I put Bradshaw ahead of Carl Malone. Did not know he went there.
Yeah, what's the Duck Dynasty? The father, Phil
Robertson. Yeah.
He might be number 2.
He would be number 2.
Number 1 till he quit.
Carl's now 3.
Yeah.
So heading into today, Scott, and just kind of this weekend, still waiting on SEC play coming up. What are you expecting of this baseball team, and what does Louisiana Tech bring to the table to attacking Arkansas this weekend?
Well, kind of like everybody else that's bringing to the table. They're going to bring some great arms at us, like everybody's got. I think the first couple of guys are, ERAs under 3, undefeated. 95, 93 to 5 mile an hour fastballs. And so it's going to be testing our bats again, which is going to be on a weekly basis, and that's all across the country. I think something's really interesting is there's still a lot of discomfort about the lineup and about the pitching staff. And I mean, we're 10-0 and everything you should be saying we're kind of rolling, but there's still a lot of uncertainty because of a lack of midweek games. The tryouts basically have gotten put back, and so everything's gotten condensed. So this weekend should be a big weekend going into SEC play next week.
Scott, would you say that coming from behind 4 or 5 times in these 10 games is a good sign or a bad sign?
That's kind of a mixed emotions deal. You love to know that your team doesn't give up and that they always have the ability, because of the sticks we have in the lineup, once you get into the bullpen, that you still have the ability to come back and lay things and grit and the will. So that's a great thing to have, but you don't want to have to do it every week. You'd like to have some performances where your pitchers go out and do their thing and your hitters start off at the first inning and not wait till the 7th or 8th inning to kind of come around and start hitting the ball a little bit. So I think it's kind of mixed blessings. Later on down the road, it could really, just for the temperament and the mentality of the team, it could really help them later down the road. But I'd like to see some games where they start off ahead and they take it wire to wire.
The dynamics of playing on the road in college baseball are unique to. There's not another sport that's really, really similar where fans can heckle you. They don't do that you don't hear it so much in football because there's so many people. Obviously, the home team gets the final at bat. What have you thought about the disadvantages of playing in the road, and then why would Dave Van Horn really like taking his team on the road at this point in the season?
Well, it makes you a little bit tougher mentally. Your focus is a little bit better. It should be a little bit better, and it needs to be a little bit better on the road. The familiarity, the field's the same. The pitching mound is 60 foot 6 inches. The bases are 90 feet. So the dimensions and everything are the same. It's just you have a little different backdrop as a hitter. You see the ball coming out of a little different space than you do at home. Even as a pitcher, you're looking at the catcher, but there's still the big view of it, the backstop and where the stands are and lights and you have fans yelling at you and what have you. So they're just the little bitty differences. Now, a good championship caliber team, you kind of block that out. And I think the Razorbacks, that feel like the Razorbacks have that mentality and they have that it factor that will take them deeper into the postseason, but hopefully up through Omaha. I used to like to pitch on the road. I like to pitch on the road because I like to pitch in quiet. Now, if you weren't throwing well, things got real noisy. But if you're throwing real well, you'd play in front of a real quiet stadium, and I always kind of like that.
So I'm reading from a tweet that Phil Elson sent out yesterday. This is their field there at Louisiana Tech is JC Love Field. He hashtagged it the Love Shack. But I don't think you would enjoy this park, Tabor, because it's a bandbox, he calls it. 315 to left field, 370 to left center, 380 to deep center, 350 to right center, and 325 down the line. This is going to be a hitter's park this weekend. I don't think you would have enjoyed those dimensions at the Love Shack.
Now, Tommy, okay, maybe right. Yeah.
380 to straight away. There could be some dingers this weekend.
Every pitcher's a little different, and a pitcher can't look at a park and go, "Oh no, I'm going to have a bad day," unless they're a fly ball pitcher and everything they throw is warning track, But most pitchers don't really look at that. Arkansas pitchers aren't going to look at that. I was more of a ground ball pitcher than anything else. So unless they hit it really hard through the fence, through the gap, I wasn't really spooked of it. Because when I gave up home runs, it didn't matter if it was 325 or 500 because they were leaving. So and they generally left. They generally left pretty fast.
They called.
We don't have our little thing.
Those particular games, they called you the jet plane, right?
They quit working on the hyper building in left center field when I was pitching, if that tells you anything.
So.
Not true. You go back and look at Todd's, Scott's numbers, and they were pretty good.
A lot of complete games there.
A lot of ERA. And the thing about those dimensions, and I think you always have to kind of see, okay, how does that park sit? And the wind's going to be blowing out of the southwest, and that's coming straight in from right field tonight. So that's good for the pitchers, right?
Well, again, yeah. If you're facing a left-handed heavy, you're not afraid to throw a ball that it's 2-0 or 3-0 or 3-1. You're not afraid to just groove one, let them hit it. If they hit a line drive, it doesn't matter. But if they hit it up in the air and it looks like it's out of the park and they hit it into the teeth of the wind, you got a chance to keep it in the park. So all it really does is help you on the situations where you're working from behind. Now, ideally, you don't want to work from behind. You work ahead of the count. You don't have to worry about how far they're going to hit it. So, again, the mentality of the pitching staff, and I think this pitching staff, they're so deep, and there's still so much uncertainty about who the third starter is going to be. And I guess Vermillion's getting another shot there, and I think this weekend they're really going to try to nail down who their closer, who's going to be their guy or guys on the back end. And if you're listening, Van Horn, I think Jackson Wiggins deserves a shot. He's got to come in because the guy
that throws 98, he's got the 40-inch vertical. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Well, look at him. I was looking. He's thrown 3 innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks, no hits, no errors. He's got zeros across the board. Except, he's got 1 save, so they threw him a bone on one deal. But so they know he can come in and not have any pressure. When you throw that hard, the only pressure would be, I don't know what the pressure would be. If I could throw that hard, I'd run around the neighborhood throwing rocks.
So far, they've not touched his ball but once.
No.
They put it in play one time.
Yeah, that's
right.
crazy.
And unless he's just having horrible bullpens and they go, yeah, we don't think he's ready. How more ready can you be than just giving up zeros every chance you get on the mound?
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. We always talk about building trust, and they need to this weekend find out if he's the guy that they can trust. I trust him.
You'd like them to be more innings ahead than behind this weekend, and that's not been the case so far. Yeah.
Right.
All right,
right,
Tabes,
exactly.
good stuff. We'll chat next Friday. Hopefully we're still talking some basketball, too, deep into the weekend as we'll get ready for the NCAA tournament. More baseball next weekend.
Yeah.
Do what?
All right, brother. I said it's great to still be talking about basketball.
Thanks, Scott.
Yep.
All right, see you next week.
Scott Tabor with us every Friday. He'll be with us through baseball season, breaking down Arkansas baseball for us here on The Morning Rush.